Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. Today's video we have some brand new watercolor paints from Woomer. Woomer did send these to me to share with you and review, so we're going to check them out today. But just very quickly, I got a few other things. It's a little bit of a Woomer haul with the main focus of the watercolor paints in a few minutes, but if you want to jump to that, I'll try and remember to put timestamps. I always say I'm going to put timestamps, and then I am like, oh, why did I say that? Now I got to put the timestamps, but I'll try and put timestamps for stuff down below for you guys if you want to skip around. But I wanted to show you these other things I just recently got from Woomer that I thought were interesting. These aren't technically from Woomer, but I did get an email from Woomer saying one of their partners was selling these acrylic markers for really cheap because they're trying to clear them out of their Amazon warehouse. It might not still be available by the time you watch this video because it was like a limited time deal until supplies last. They're the kind that you don't have to prime or pump or anything. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. I did share that over on my community tab. So hopefully if you saw that, you were able to grab these for $5. I get these acrylic paint markers mostly for the white colors or the lighter colors because I like to use them for accents on my coloring pages. So if you are familiar with the Woomer pencils, I think they're pretty popular. They do have open stock available on their website, but they also have little packs, like little open stock packs available on Amazon. They're a little bit more expensive on Amazon than if you were to get them on the website, but I saw this purple pack up for $10 for 10. I think it's 10. And I kind of was curious to see how they came packaged. So I did peek a little bit just to see what they came with. But they come with the pencils, and they also came with some colored pencil paper. So that kind of makes it worth it, I think, for $10. They do, I think the rest, they have some other packs like skin tone sets or greens or yellows or pinks. So this is the purple pack, which is kind of purple and pinks, technically, I think. So this one comes with light purple pink. Okay, I guess that's purple, technically. And violet pink, manganese violet. These are very hard. I think we've talked about this before, how hard it is to read the writing on these pencils. That's the only kind of sort of bad thing about them. Lavender, light red violet, violet, pale violet, light magenta, royal violet, and light violet. I do like to use those colors a lot, so I really wish they would have made the skin tone set for $9.99. That would have been more up my alley, but if you were curious how they came when they're packed that way, that's what you get when you order them from Amazon. On the website, I think they're $2 each for each color, and you have to order a minimum of $20. It doesn't necessarily have to be open stock pencils. It could be other stuff, adding up to $20. If you want to know a little bit more or about the newer set, the 90 set, or just the pencils in general, I have a whole playlist of Woomer related videos. I will be adding this one to that playlist as well, so I'll link that for you somewhere in this video. And let's get into the watercolor paints. These watercolor paints are retail $39.99, which I thought was a little expensive, but I do see they are now currently on sale for $35.99 on Amazon. And I wanted to check and see what the price was directly on their website. and they do have them up for $39.99 there. But I also found they have open stock on all of these colors, which I thought was pretty interesting. $2.50 each for each color. There's 24 colors here that they have, and you'll see they have this very nice swatch sheet. So we're going to swatch them out. I guess I will swatch them out on here. It's like kind of like watercolor paper, I think. I'm not a watercolor paint expert, so this is purely going to be beginner observations for me. So I'm going to try and paint a little bit in a coloring book and swatch and everything. These are what they're advertising them as. They're a majority pure pigments, meaning that's just one singular pigment for each color. I did check, and out of the 24, there are 17 out of the 24 are pure, just one pigment color, not mixes. I do like that they name the pigments. If you want to do some mixing, you'll know that maybe it won't necessarily get too muddy if there's too many pigments involved. So I think that's really cool. On the back here, it does tell you, very tiny, but it does say the light fast ratings. An 8 is extremely light fast. 7 is good light fast. 5 to 6 light fast. 4 limited light fast. 3 less light fast. 1 to 2 not light fast. And it also has a little chart here where it says transparent, semi-opaque, semi-transparent, and opaque. Did I mention? Oh, it also comes with this nice little watercolor paper too, so that's a nice bonus. All right, so let's swatch these out. You'll notice there is no white. Usually white is not really included in a more professional type of palette. I found out it's because technically you're supposed to be able to, if you want to make a color lighter or not, or more opaque, you use more or less water. If you're adding white, that's more so you're trying to make it a little bit more gouache like. All right, we're back, and we've swatched all 24 colors. To me, I thought they were very pretty, nice and pigmented, very intense. As you can see, I didn't end up using that swatch card. I actually think I was better off doing it on this paper because I had more space to kind of let them flow. And I think this is my favorite. I love this color. I think it's PV1 is quinacridone violet. Let's see. Yeah. Quinacridone violet. And I accidentally got some blue on my thumb. This one, PB15, the phthalo blue, and I wiped it on the back of this card, and it's like practically ink. I still can't get it off my thumb. It's been several hours. I do think the single pigment aspect of this set is a really good selling point for them, points to them. I have had quite a few watercolor palettes in the past, or maybe around the same price point, or maybe a little less, but they don't necessarily list what's the pigments are. And I have seen where people try to ask the company what the pigments are in each one of the colors, and they're usually very shady. They don't want to tell you what's exactly in the pigment list. So I do like that they're very upfront, forward facing with what pigments are in each one of these paints. Now, I mentioned earlier too that they have open stock on each one of these colors. You guys let me know what you think about that. $2.50 for a half pan of paint does seem kind of expensive to me, but again, I'm not one to really use watercolors that often. I usually just use them here and there, like for backgrounds most of the time. So I'd like to hear from you what you think of buying these pans open stock. They do have all 24 colors up as open stock, but I think if you were someone that was going to be using up all of these paints often, would be someone who's a little bit more knowledgeable about painting, that you would probably know how to mix colors already. For example, these colors that have more than one pigment to them. So what did I say? 17 out of the 24 are single pigments. So to me, you would have really only ever need to buy 17 out of the 24 colors if you ever ran out of any of these colors. But let me know what you think about that. And before I forget, if you do go on the website and pick this watercolor set up, I think I said it was $39.99 there, but they have a survey up right now where if you fill it out, they give you 20% off for, I guess, must be a limited time. So definitely check it out, see which comes out cheaper if you're interested in picking these up. I did do some coloring, or painting rather, coloring and painting. I actually ended up doing kind of like a mixed media thing in this book. This is Wild Dream by Emmanuel Collin. This book is supposed to be multimedia. You're supposed to be able to use paint. They show you a little paintbrush. It's 250 GSM. If you want to stick around and watch, I'm going to do a little speed painting, coloring with the process of which I did this page. If you want to stick around after I finish this review, it'll be right after. But I started off doing, I really wanted to try and see if I could mix and layer with these paints a skin tone, but I ended up wanting to kind of speed up the process a little bit, and I am a little bit more comfortable with pencils, so I did a kind of a base with the watercolors. You did kind of see here. I just did kind of a mishmash of blending over here with the sky area, and I didn't really focus on the bird, but I was really wanting to focus on the face. I really wanted to try and see if I could build up a good skin tone with these paints. And I think I did okay, especially for not really knowing what I'm doing. But I think it was okay. I probably could have kept going and added more layers if this was actual watercolor paper, but it's not. It's I was starting to give a little bit, and it's not porous at all, so it couldn't really soak up the watercolors. Like if I was using some nice watercolor paper, which I don't have. So I did my best with what I had, and I figured you guys would want to see more so in a coloring book. But if you do want to try and use these in a coloring book, just be mindful that most coloring books are not meant for heavy watercolor. So just tread very lightly. You can probably use them very lightly, or put a layer of gesso or some sort of layer of protection before you get into it. All right, so I think that is all I really have for you guys today. I do like these a lot. I think they're very nice, very pigmented. Like I said, I appreciate the pigment information they give us. I think, I don't know if, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a professional set. I find it's probably sits somewhere in between like student grade. It's definitely a little bit higher than student grade, but I wouldn't necessarily call it like a Winsor and Newton level. It's somewhere in the middle. I do think it's very, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but it's a very big undertaking for this company to be taking on, especially with the pencils and the open stock. Then they're doing open stock with these paints as well. They really look like they're trying to focus on giving the people what they want. I do encourage you to take that survey over on their website. They do seem like they listen to what we have to say. And yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments. If you have these already, what do you think of them? And let's just hop right into our speed painting, mixed media, coloring session, and I'll see you guys. We'll just fade out to black when we're done. I'll see you guys in the next video.